On the news tonight, tackling critical issues in the skills development, federal government advocates synergy to harness opportunities in the digital space.
The National Council of Skills and the Federal Ministry of Education working together on this. I tell you, sooner than later, our young people will be off the streets.
Federal government's moves to utilize cutting-edge technologies in public service data storage.
We are excited to introduce the Galaxy Backbone One Government Cloud as a combination of infrastructure and software as a service framework.
Also on the news, House of Representatives makes case for tertiary institutions yet to access TET fund intervention.
Committee frowns at the high rate of unassessed intervention by beneficiary institutions.
Thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. I am Lami Ali. Benny Adams will be reading business news tonight. Don't forget to follow us live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now on X, as well as on other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Now here is the news. The National Council on Skills has established a committee to coordinate ministries, departments and agencies, as well as state programs to tackle critical issues in the skills development sector. Addressing the fourth council meeting, Vice President Kashim Shettima reiterated the need for synergy to take advantage of opportunities in the digital space. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila has the story.
Headed by the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, the committee's terms of reference include identifying skills training in MDAs and states, identifying dominant skills in the private sector, and devising strategies for standardization, recognition, and certification. The Council also proposed a draft bill for the Nigerian Skills Qualifications Framework aimed at developing the skills of the nation's workforce and improving the quality of skilled workers.
That His Excellency, the Vice President, is putting particular attention on to ensure that our youth, women, and people with intellect and knowledge will be able to be self-employed, to exploit their own potentialities in a manner that they could be self-employed, and also to reduce poverty. The National Council of Skills and the Federal Ministry of Education working together on this. I tell you, sooner than later, our young people will be off the streets and be major contributors to the economy of Nigeria.
Definitely going to turn things around to a very positive position where children at least will learn a skill. Remember, this can solve a lot of female problems of early marriages, out of school children and stuff like that, because if you learn skills in your secondary school, you come out, you have a voice.
We have identified critical skills needed in this country, and we have a large number of young people unemployed, so the entire education system is being re-engineered. For example, every polytechnic now, every diploma, ND or HND, you must have a skills qualification before you graduate.
The National Skills Qualifications Framework aims to establish a system for the development, recognition and enforcement of technical and vocational education, training and skills qualifications. It also seeks to harmonize the action of all stakeholders within the skills development ecosystem for collective efforts towards the country's contemporary developmental agenda and encourage public-private partnership for workplace training and learning. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has decried the increasing rate of tertiary institutions that are yet to access the interventions of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, with a call on TET Fund to bridge the gap. This was during an oversight visit by lawmakers to the management and staff of the TET Fund in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen has the story.
This visit by members of the House Committee on Tertiary Education Trust Fund is an oversight function to ascertain judicious use of TET Fund interventions in beneficiary tertiary institutions as approved by the President and the Enabling Act of Parliament. A presentation of TET Fund interventions and budget performance from 2020 to 2023 sets the ball rolling for questions requiring explanations.
Committee frowns at the high rate of unassessed intervention by beneficiary institutions. It is not in the interest of Nigeria. It is not in the interest of the tertiary institutions.
It's a very painful thing for us, especially given the inflationary trend. 1 billion 2 years ago is almost like 500 today or less. We have been appealing, we have been encouraging, and we have also been threatening. In the past, there used to be some punitive measures, which actually, even though it was meant to solve the problem, contributed to the problem.
Exactly.
But we have removed that now.
The committee acknowledges a remarkable rise in education tax collection from 257 billion naira in 2020 to 725 billion naira in 2023, but calls out companies evading the tax.
A situation where conglomerates, nice-looking corporations and companies pretend who look good before the public now declare losses, all in the name to evade taxes, is highly condemnable.
Between 2020 to 2024, about 1.4 trillion naira was disbursed by TET Fund to beneficiary tertiary institutions for provision of critical infrastructure for teaching and learning. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Now, the federal government is focused on exploring the full range of energy options for powering the country's transport sector. In addition to gas, the government's overall strategy is for electric vehicles to be a major additional plan. Inaugurating the Nasani CNG Reverse Engineering Training, Filling and Conversion Center in Tako, Federal Capital Territory, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a message through the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, pledged to make Nigeria an African hub of the global electric vehicle revolution.
We are putting a lot of work on the way to the full implementation of the PCMGI, and this event today is a testament to the success of our efforts. Nasani's contribution to the development of technical and human capacity for converting engines to CNG compliance engines. This demonstrates that we are a government that not only points out where we are headed, but also tries to live by example.
Now, with me in the studio to continue the conversation on the just inaugurated Nasani CNG Reverse Engineering Training, Filling and Conversion Center is the Executive Vice Chairman of Nasani, Khalil Suleiman Halilu. You're welcome to the studios of NTA.
Thank you and good evening.
All right, what are the primary goals and expected outcomes of establishing this center here in Nigeria?
Well, first of all, is to be able to close the CNG gap, that we have in the country. As you all know, that is Mr. President's priority to introduce CNG as alternative fuel to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. But beside that, it's also a center where we do reverse engineering to see how we can source these components, especially around the CNG kits locally, for us to reduce the capital flight for exports, for importation, and also to be able to train people on how to do this conversion. As you are aware, Utako is the heart of transport, for Abuja, connecting it to the rest of the country. So the location is strategic. In the same location, we are able to do refilling, we are able to do conversion and training. So the key thing is to look at how we can, close that CNG gap.
All right, fossil fuel has been the traditional fuel in Nigeria. How will this center contribute to Nigeria's energy transition now that this is the in thing around the world?
Well, Nigeria is actually a gas nation more than an oil nation, and we have gas and we have to look for ways, to utilize it. And like I mentioned earlier, the issue of high prices for PMS, which is premium motor spirit, affecting multiple sectors in the economy. So looking at an alternative like CNG and other form of cleaner energy, the world has been going green. From electric vehicle, NTA was there to to witness a prototype for electric vehicle, which we are looking very soon to put into production en masse for the benefit of everyone.
All right, now we have one center here in Abuja. What plans are there in place to replicate such plans across the country? We have 36 states.
Well, as you know, Naseni is a very diverse institution, having footprints in every geopolitical zone. And, our key aim is whatever we build to replicate it across the country. This center that we're talking about, can convert close to 3,000 vehicles every month. And if you have 10 of these centers in every state, within 1 year, you should be able to convert 11, million vehicles, which is the total population of, the vehicles that we have in the country. So we're working closely, especially with our partners. Today's event, showcases how we're able to collaborate with the private sector, Portland Gas and Kia, to be able to put a state-of-the-art facility. And of course, we're putting works into effort to be able to replicate this center in other parts of the country.
Okay, let's look at the impacts on local communities. When we have such centers in the other states of the Federation, and then the training and conversion comes in full force, how is that going to create job opportunities for the teeming populace out there?
Well, first of all, you are moving into a new, segment of the sector where you train people that automatically create jobs. But the trickle effect of having a cheaper, an alternative source of energy is enormous. This CNG, you're talking about less than 1/3 in terms of cost in comparison with premium motor spirit or petrol that we call it PMS. And you can imagine the triple effect in terms of transportation, in terms of mobility to work, in terms of effect on farm produce. So it's an all-round, and we can't wait to close this gap and enjoy the full benefit of this initiative.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suleiman Khalil, for that information.
Thank you.
The Executive Vice Chairman there of Naseni speaking on the CNG projects of the federal government. Now, still on compressed natural gas as an alternative fuel for vehicles in Nigeria, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, through its subsidiary Nigeria Gas Marketing Limited and partner Transit Gas Nigeria Limited, has inaugurated its first CNG mother station in Ilasamaja, Lagos State. The facility, with the capacity to serve over 4,000 vehicles a day, is to be replicated across the country. Here is the report.
This state-of-the-art facility, which has a capacity of 5.2 million standard cubic feet per day, is not only equipped to serve vehicles, it has the capacity to supply gas to industries and companies utilizing CNG by delivering CNG at 250 barge to customers within a 250-kilometer radius. This facility, situated in Ilasamaja, Lagos State, has been described as a game changer in the transition towards a cleaner and sustainable future.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of fuel stations that even have that capacity now. To now build a CNG plant that has that kind of a capacity and still has a capacity to give about 20 skids, I'm told.
The next 1-2 years, we're going to flood the whole state with CNG-enabled NNPC stations.
For NNPC Limited, the journey towards a sustainable and greener future began decades ago, pioneering and actively supporting the development of CNG in Nigeria.
They are not necessarily centers of any geopolitical location, but they are carefully selected locations where CNG will now be available to every part of the country as we continue to grow access to pipeline gas in our country.
And it takes consistent investments, consistent commitments to bring it to where we are today. So we're very grateful to the corporation.
CNG sells itself. It is cost-effective, burns cleaner than liquid fuels, and non-corrosive, environmentally friendly and lighter than air, which makes it safe even during leakage. It requires low operational costs for potential retailers, and the gas is cased in safe and sturdy cylinders. With Nigeria boasting Africa's largest gas reserves, a constant supply of natural gas for compression is guaranteed.
It's a testament to the unwavering commitment of NNPC Limited and its partner, Transit Gas Nigeria Limited, to support the federal government objective of utilizing our abundant natural gas resources.
Within the next few days, NNPC Gas Marketing Limited, a subsidiary of NNPC Limited and its partners, will be commissioning more CNG stations across Nigeria.
The organized labor has declared an indefinite strike beginning June 3rd, 2024, until the federal government announces a new national minimum wage for Nigerian workers. President, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Festus Osifo, and that of Nigeria Labour Congress, Joseph Ajaero, made the declaration after a breakdown of negotiation during the tripartite National Minimum Wage Committee meeting. Joseph Osen reports.
The organized labor during the 2024 Workers' Day celebration expressed determination to have a new national minimum wage sought out before 31st May 2024. There have been ongoing negotiations to come up with an acceptable wage for Nigerian workers, putting into consideration current economic realities.
We are calling on them.
However, the organized labor says government offers remain unacceptable.
They were talking about 100% increase. That's what they have offered.
We are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide strike, effective from Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And this strike shall be indefinite. And this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage.
The workers are demanding a national minimum wage of 600,000 naira, while government wants organized labor to shift ground reasonably. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA. Let's now go for a break to bring you some commercials. The news continues shortly. Thank you for staying. Now, Benny Adams will be guiding us tonight on the latest happenings in the business world. Hello, Benny.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to business. We start from the Caribbean, where the 4th United Nations Conference on Small Island Developing States has concluded in Antigua and Barbuda with unanimous support for a bold new 10-year plan of action that will deliver sustainable development to the vulnerable island countries. For the host, holding oil-producing companies accountable for their role in the environmental challenges is key. They are also calling for an end to fossil fuel subsidies, the imposition of a global carbon tax to provide climate financing, and stress the need for a transition to renewable energy resources to protect the natural habitat.
The United Nations stands with you to build resilient economies, to foster safe, healthy and prosperous societies, to achieve water, food and energy security.
This initiative will provide the support and resources needed to manage and restructure debt by reducing interest rates and certainly to extend maturity transformation.
That we can together and in close cooperation build new partnerships to attract the kind of investment which could deliver sustainable, resilient prosperity for people everywhere.
Is at the beginning of a 10-year sprint, and I hope that there'll be no brakes that will be put on the SIDS.
And now oil prices shed steady on Friday as investors await U.S. inflation data for clues on demand outlook before turning attention to Sunday's OPEC Plus meeting to determine the state of supply into next year. Brent futures were up 14 cents at $82 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude was down 4 cents at $77.87 a barrel. The more liquid August Brent contract was trading at $81.93, up 5 cents from the previous settlement. Brent futures are on track for a monthly loss of almost 7% after dropping 2% in the previous session on a surprise build in U.S. fuel inventories. Now a look at markets. At the end of the last weekday of trading on the exchange, a total of 433.9 million shares in 8,525 deals corresponding to a market value of 8.575 billion naira were traded. Today's data shows 40% improvement in volume, 58% improvement in turnover, and 21% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 56.2 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 122 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 23 gainers and 15 losers. Zenith Bank recorded the highest volume of traded shares, followed by ICO Insurance and Access Holdings. That is business news. Network news continues with Lami. Lami, you can take it away from me.
Thank you, Benny. Driven by its motto, People, Technology, Service, Zenith Bank, a leading financial institution in Nigeria, has stepped up a notch in its corporate responsibilities pursuits by replacing its 13-year-old outdoor 16-inch screen with a state-of-the-art 3D screen at Ajose Adugun roundabout in Victoria Island, Lagos. Now, Lanwe Belei witnessed the unveiling and brings us the details.
Zenith Bank's new digital screen sums up the financial institution's commitment towards carrying out its corporate social responsibilities and reinventing itself. It's a digital light-up at Ajose Adeogun roundabout, a concept beautified with a cube-shaped 6x4 6x4 specification and pixel resolution of 3,936 by 960, a three-dimensional world-class screen. Management of the bank believe, apart from beautifying the environment, the new look will serve as a connection between the bank and the public.
Zenith has been from inception a digitally led organization. From the time our founder started the bank, if you look at the motto or the byline, people, technology and service, and in everything we have done, we have tried to live by this motto.
You know, Zenith has always been known for innovation, and it's understandable that on this kind of occasion, we're also the first to launch a digital LED screen.
People will come here, you know, like the MD said, to do, you know, picnics, to watch footballs.
We believe in giving back to the society. This is one of the things we are doing again, to give back to our customers.
For Zenith Bank, this beauty is just the beginning of more good things to come in its bids to deliver its corporate social responsibilities. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
The efforts of the federal government in addressing the level of illiteracy in the country continues to be demonstrated with the approval of the establishment of the Federal College of Education in Goza, Borno State. Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, while presenting the approval letter to the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, expresses optimism that the state government will also play its role in ensuring the smooth takeoff of the institution. He commended the cooperation and collaboration so far received from the Borno State government in making quality education accessible to the people, especially the most vulnerable in the state.
To ensure that it is run properly, and also we have more services and facilities that are needed. We will work together.
The Borno State Governor, Professor Zulum, expresses gratitude to the federal government for choosing the state to site the school, stating that his administration has already provided basic infrastructure and other requirements to ensure the college takes off soon. Now, raising the quality of life of the people of Gombe State appears to be the focus of the Inouye Haya administration in the 5 years of its existence. A panel of discussants at a symposium to celebrate the 5 years of Governor Muhammad Inouye Haya took note of this while x-raying the governor's performance. Tafar Hamzamayu reports.
Shared by the Vice Chancellor of Federal University Kashiri, Professor Umaru Pati,
The panel of discussants agreed that the successes in healthcare services, education, security, and agricultural transformation in the last 5 years of the Inuaya administration have really improved the lives of the citizenry. Lead presenter and former Minister of Works Babatunde Raji Fashola is more impressed with the governor's quality in resource management, security, and healthcare provisions, even in the midst of economic crisis.
It is a sense of integrity that makes somebody campaign and come back to say, I promise this, let us discuss, have I reached you enough? And I think that the object of this self-examination by the Gombe government.
Appreciating the people of Gombe State, Governor Inuaya Haya assured that rural infrastructure, jobs creation, monitoring and evaluation of projects, as well as education sector will continue to receive priority.
As of today, over 700 kilometers has been built by this administration. And we shall deliver on the rest, inshallah, in the remaining 3 years.
The need to explore other means of revenue generation with a view to improving service provision was also considered. In Gombe, Tafawa Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
Do stay with the network news as we take another set of messages. You're welcome back. The Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy is to provide free training for 10,000 civil servants in the first phase of its responsible data management training. Chimdema Ndubusi reports that the Minister, Dr. Boson Tijani, at the third edition of the summit says the training will groom data collators and controllers on the art of data privacy and protection as they get familiar with the tenets of the Nigerian Data Protection Act of 2023.
We live at a time now where digital technology means that we're constantly collecting data and information on people. And if we're careless with the data that we collect, we're going to put our people at risk. So the essence is that when we train them, when they know what you're training them on, they'll be a lot more effective in implementing the laws that we're setting for them.
After the comprehensive training, MDAs will be monitored for data privacy and protection compliance and sanctions enforced on defaulters. Still on capacity building, some officials of ministries, departments and agencies in Abuja are undergoing training on centralized ecosystem for data storage aimed at improving governance for effective service delivery. Olajide Bello reports.
In the ever-evolving landscape of Nigeria's digital infrastructure, the introduction of Galaxy Backbone One Government Cloud stands as pivotal moment in the nation's technological trajectory. Designed as a unified platform to streamline operations and enhance efficiency across ministry departments and agencies, this innovative initiative represents a bold step towards modernizing governance in Nigeria.
I think this meeting is apt. Not only because it speaks to the need to digitize the public service, but because it's also bringing key stakeholders together who should be the ones to drive this process if the country is going to move forward.
With determination in the heart of Galaxy Backbone and lines of code at their fingertips, the team set out to revolutionize the backbone of Nigeria's digital infrastructure.
We are excited to introduce the Galaxy Backbone One Government Cloud as a combination of infrastructure and software as a service framework aimed at providing the federal ministries, departments and agencies with the software and secure data storage they require through a standardized unified interface.
As the digital landscape of Nigeria began to transform, whispers of change rippled across the nation.
The Galaxy Backbone came up with this one government cloud system, a framework where all the government documents or organizations, MDAs, will come together and form and be under one cloud. All documents can be saved there and you can access them anytime.
Galaxy Backbone says it will continue to leverage emerging technologies and forge new partnerships to propel Nigeria into the forefront of the digital age. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Minister of State for Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, says the Nigerian government is exploring avenues of collaboration with Finland's public and private sectors to strengthen police marine operations, training, reforms and resource mobilization. This is to facilitate effective and efficient policing in the country. Frances Form reports that this was when she played host to the Finland's ambassador to Nigeria in her office in Abuja. The minister reiterated the focus of the ministry in conjunction with stakeholders in harmonizing all previous police reform reports in line with the presidential directives.
Our interest lies around strengthening the capacity of our maritime and marine police, and I look forward to the fruitful collaboration. As you may be aware, we're so focused on our police reforms.
This was a very first visit by myself, and I think the first one in a long time, from the Embassy of Finland to the Ministry of Police Affairs, and discuss possible collaborations between our countries and public and private, so to say.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the EXCOD, IGP monitoring units and the complaints response units of the force to ensure prompt dispensation of justice and to implement measures that will curb the excesses on professionalism, corruption and other vices amongst police personnel, in line with the current administration's zero tolerance for corruption.
Ethics and code of conduct of the Nigerian police force as expected of us. Similarly, while addressing the excesses of our officers and personnel, you are also obligated to make necessary recommendations to the force leadership regarding exemplary performances by officers and personnel.
The IGP, while calling on Nigerians not to succumb to intimidation or part with their hard-earned money and property unjustly, urged them to report infractions or acts of misconduct by any personnel for necessary action. Now, increased sensitization to the dangers of tobacco use to save millions of people dying from substance abuse in Nigeria resonates as the country joins the international community to commemorate the 2024 World No Tobacco Day. At a ministerial press conference, health partners on ending tobacco use dwell on fast-tracking implementation and total compliance of legal framework to curb excesses of tobacco industries and protect young people who are usually the target. Oluche Adiabo has the details.
World Health Organization WHO's reports tobacco is responsible for more than 8 million deaths annually. More than 7 million of these deaths are a result of direct tobacco use, while around 1.2 million non-smokers die from exposure to second-hand smoke.
In many countries, including Nigeria, the rate of e-cigarette use among adolescents exceeds that of adults. This indicates that the industry targets youth for a lifetime of profit, creating a new wave of addiction.
With more young people now recently involved in tobacco use globally and Nigeria having its share, this year's World No Tobacco Day is themed Protecting Children from Tobacco Industry Interference.
The theme for this year's campaign seeks to raise awareness about the need to protect future generations by ensuring that tobacco use continues to decline. We therefore call on all relevant stakeholders to ensure effective implementation of the National Tobacco Control Act and its regulations.
We will be doing our best, we will continue to do our best, and will enforce all laws made by our parliament to ensure that the use of tobacco is reduced to the barest minimum.
May 31st every year marks World No Tobacco Day, and partners in Nigeria are targeting effective communication strategy and enforcement of acts prohibiting tobacco as priority. In Abuja, Oluche Adiabo, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, remains committed to serve Nigerians in collaboration with President Bola Tinubu to give citizens a new lease of life. Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Eseme Eibo, in reacting to a publication by an online media which he says attempted to disparage the person and impugn the integrity of Senator Akpabio by linking him to amnesia and corruption, stressed that Akpabio is in excellent health of mind and would not be distracted, describing the write-up as mischievous and unethical journalistic practice. The statement advised journalists to desist from such negative practice and urged the public to discountenance the said publication. Watching Network News, we take another break. Do stay tuned. In a landmark move, the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture and Creative Economy and the Nigerian Economic Summit Group have announced a strategic partnership to drive the growth of Nigeria's creative economy. The partnership aims to position Nigeria as a global hub for creativity and innovation with a goal of generating $100 billion by 2030. Ngufan Shaji Gwanyi reports.
This partnership marks a significant step towards unlocking the vast potential of Nigeria's creative economy, with a focus on developing a robust governance structure for the art, culture and creative industries. The Ministry and NESG have co-created a policy trust for the development of a comprehensive national policy on the creative economy.
Powerful partnership to drive the sustainable development of Nigeria and the creative economy in alignment with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President and our vision for Destination 2030, this very great initiative. I'm really confident that this collaboration will yield transformative results over the next 2 years and beyond. So together we will unleash the power of creativity and culture to tell the Nigerian story, to grow the economy and improve the lives of our citizens.
We know that it is possible for this part of the economy to be a multi-billion dollar economy, and we have what it takes to get it there.
The partnership will also focus on strengthening intellectual property rights, enhancing enforcement mechanisms, and protecting the creative assets and innovations of individuals and organizations within the creative economy. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
In a bid to improve regional cooperation in business and economy, security and social friendship, the president of Senegal was in Burkina Faso earlier today. And a possible coalition government is brewing in South Africa as the ANC is believed to be running short of majority from the votes counted so far at polling stations. Kolo Mohammed tells us more on these and other stories on Global Updates.
The confirmed president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, personally welcomed President Faye at the airport. The visit is believed to aim to reinforce the bilateral relationship between the two West African nations, with the hope this meeting marks the beginning of a new chapter in Senegal-Burkina Faso relationships characterized by deeper cooperation and shared progress. A possible coalition talk is said to have been gone into by South Africa's political parties, and ANC is perceived to face historic shortfall, potentially ending its 30-year majority. The African National Congress, the party of the late Nelson Mandela, is likely to remain the largest political force, but has been punished by voters for years of decline. A significant pushback in the popularity of ANC came forth, particularly in Zuma's home province of KwaZulu-Natal. In the meantime, former U.S. President Donald Trump has said he will appeal his criminal conviction for falsifying business records, insisting he paid legal expense and there was nothing illegal. The former president said he is going to fight an appeal verdict. President Joe Biden, however, said Friday that his predecessor, Donald Trump, was found guilty, and it's reckless, it's dangerous, it's irresponsible for anyone to say this is rigged just because they don't like the verdict. Kolo Muhammad, NTA.
Let's join Olumide Gunsola for latest news from the world of sports. Now, here's a check on Saturday's weather.
Good to have you join us. Early morning thunderstorms are expected to prevail across parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, Kaduna, Plateau, FCT and Nasarawa. There will be a few showers in parts of Ondo, Ogun, Delta and Lagos. As we move into the afternoon hours, the bulk of the activity will occur with widespread thunderstorms expected across the coastal cities and most parts of the inland cities of the south. There's also a prospect of thunderstorms in central cities as well as parts of Taraba, Bauchi, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina and Zamfara. The rains over the north and the north-central cities are expected to be accompanied with strong winds and possible lightning strike. Therefore, stay safe and weather away. Next is the marine and temperature forecast. I'm Safia Senginusa. Thank you for watching.
That's Network News for today. We thank you for being a part of it. Do have a good weekend. I'm Lami Ali.